Hello and welcome. This is James Blanchard Cisneros at your service. Today I'll be reading the May 4th Daily Inspirational Message, the condensed version. It's 2 paragraphs long. Then I'll center myself, say a little prayer, and then make a couple comments on the message. And if you find the message of use, please be so kind as to like, comment, or share, or join us as a subscriber. Thank you for that. Here we go. The title, A Daily Self-Forgiveness Practice. Paragraph 1. When we are focusing on the seeming separateness of our bodies instead of the sameness of our souls, we are buying into the ego's programming and mindset as real and true. We are all one, yet the ego has programmed us to believe and support the false concept that we are separate from each other. This false concept says, I can judge and hurt you without this punishing and hurting myself. It does this because judgment is the ego's main fuel source. If it can make you believe that you can judge another without hurting yourself, then it wins. It wins because as you judge another, you fuel the ego while you deplete yourself. That's with a capital S. You fuel the ego's delusions while you deplete the truth in you. The ego and its mindset grows stronger, while your true eternal loving essence and nature dissolves away. The ego knows that if you believe that judging another won't hurt you in any way, then you'll be more inclined to judge. What the ego tries to hide is that because we're all one, other people represent, in essence, parts of you. Unconscious beliefs that you hold about yourself. Thus, when you're judging and condemning them, you are in essence punishing and hurting yourself. Paragraph 2. Here is an affirmation to help you practice forgiving your whole self. Quotes, in quotes. Today, let me recall that being all one, each person out there is in essence a part of me. When I judge them, I am simply projecting onto them a part of me that does not believe is worthy of forgiveness. I have withheld forgiveness from myself long enough. So today, I offer it to all others so that I can fully experience it myself. Now, instead of judging others and judging myself for judging them, I thank them for showing me a way out of the ego's delusional mindset. Today, I recognize that the more parts of myself I forgive out there, the closer I come to understanding that it is okay and right to forgive my whole self. Now, when the ego demands that I judge other people, I stop and recognize that they are simply offering me the opportunity to forgive them, and by doing so, forgive, heal, and free myself from the heavy burden of my own judgments. All right. A daily forgiveness practice. Okay, I'm going to make 5 points today that I trust will assist you in this daily inspiration. The first part is to recall that we are all one. And so there's nothing you do to another. There's nothing you think of another. That does not affect you first, okay? So if you're forgiving another person, you're freeing yourself from that judgment. If you're judging another person, it is you who's carrying those negative thoughts within you. Those judgmental and resentful and hurtful and hateful thoughts within you. So the ego would say, hey, you can judge that person. It's not going to do anything to you. But in reality, what happens? Because when your thoughts reside within you, it is within you where you either heal or hurt. If you're healing, you offer forgiveness. If you're hurting, then you hold on to that judgment. So that's point number 1, is to remember we're all one. So whatever it is we do to them, we are feeling and experiencing and carrying ourselves. That's point number 1. Point number 2, another thing that helps you forgive yourself, being that we're all one, is to make a list and just go through your own life, and start making like a, this year I judge this person or whatever. You can ask God, who am I holding judgments towards? And then you can start writing on a piece of paper. Oh, am I holding a judgment of X reason towards Anne? I'm holding a judgment towards John for X other reason. And so you put it on a list. So now you can see it on paper. So now you can start practicing forgiving those people when they come to your mind. When you see their name, okay, I don't want to hold on to this judgment anymore inside of me. I want to forgive them. I forgive you, Anne. And by doing so, I set myself free. And so you just do a little list, and you ask God, the Holy Spirit, to remind you of who you're holding on to judgments about. Then you write it down on a paper, and then little by little you start to forgive them. And every time you see their name or every time you think of them, you send them your forgiveness instead of your judgments. And therefore you free yourself instead of imprisoning yourself within your own mind. So that's point number 2, make your little list. Point number 3, even if a person has passed away, because remember, we're all one, so even those who have gone to the other side are still with us in some way, shape, or form. So if we have failed to forgive them, put them on your list. Include them on your list. And a meditation that I've done before when it comes to this is you put 3 chairs in a room before you go to sleep. You sit in one chair, you invite that person who has passed away into the other chair, and then I'm Christian, so I invite Christ into the other chair. You can invite whoever it is you want to invite into the 3rd chair. And I ask Christ to join me and to join his heart with mine and offer his love and compassion and mercy and grace to my brother and sister who I have yet to forgiven. And so I do that over and over again, and I feel that judgment shifting into forgiveness, that imprisonment shifting into freedom. So that's point number 3. Even those who have passed away, you can sit down with and forgive. Okay. Point number 4. Now that we're seeing that because we're all one, when we forgive them, they are freeing us. Now when we think of them, instead of when the ego says, no, judge them again for whatever it is that they did, no. We stop. We stop that judgmental mindset and we thank them. It doesn't have to be out verbally. It could be inside our minds or heart, but we say, thank you. Thank you for showing me that I was holding on to some poison within me that was only corrupting me and corroding me. So thank you. I no longer have a need to judge you. I now forgive you. I now place you in God's hands. I now release all my judgments over to Source. I now see my judgments and my resentment and my frustration and my hatred being dissolved in God's loving light. And now I only choose to see you through forgiveness lens, through love's lens. And I thank you for helping me practice letting go of my judgments and align more with the truth in me, which is forgiveness, with its peace, with its joy, which is compassion and kindness and mercy and grace. Thank you for helping me do that, practice that. Practice releasing what I no longer want. So that's point number 4. Thank your brothers and sisters instead of condemning them. And then finally, point number 5 is, again, as we remember that each and every one out there is a part of us. Whenever the ego judges, the ego is unconsciously showing us what beliefs that we're holding within that are poisoning our sight, that are poisoning the way we see our brothers and sisters, God's creations. So if our beliefs and the way we're looking at our brothers or sisters are less than loving in nature, that simply means that the ego's past programming and mindset and delusions and deceptions and lies have taken over control of our mind and eyesight and lens. So we're seeing the world through the ego's lens instead of through God's lens, which we're here to do, to be the light of the world, to see through love's light, through love's lens. And so each and every person out there is helping us practice choosing to see through love's lens instead of the ego's lens. And so the more we practice seeing them through forgiveness eyes, the more we realize that every part of us is worthy of forgiveness. And by doing that, the more we're able to accept God's mercy and grace. Because God sees us with His mercy and grace, wouldn't it be somewhat wise to try to see ourselves in that manner, through that mercy and grace? But we can only do that if we start to let go of those veils that we've been programmed with, those idea of judging our brothers and sisters, that somehow God's creations are worthy of our judgments. No, they're not. They're only worthy of our compassion, of our forgiveness, of our kindness, of our generosity, of our grace, of our mercy. That's what they're worthy of. And that's what they're helping us practice seeing. And because we're all one, each one of those people represent a part of us. Our thoughts come from our beliefs. And so these beliefs, the way we're seeing them, resides within us. So if something other than love resides within us, they are helping us see that. So thank you for that. And so that's point number 5. Remembering that each brother and sister out there is just helping us let go of who we no longer desire to be and become who God created us to be, which is the light of the world, the loving light of the world, in our own unique ways. And today, that way is through self-forgiveness, the practice of forgiveness and self-forgiveness. All right, thank you very much for your time. I love you very much. If you can be so kind as to like, comment, or share this video, it might help with the listening process, and it might help somebody forgive themselves, forgive others, and make this world a more forgiving place. Thank you very much for your time. I love you very much, and God willing, we will see each other tomorrow. Peace.